Joshy! Oh, Joshy. I need a shower. Joshy! I'm not trying to ruminate or herp or whatever. I do wish I could have known Josh like 8 years sooner.
Carlo was picked on every day. King Cobra's words a brutal phrase. Tears fell like rain, heavy and deep. Carl vowed revenge, but first he'd weep. Cobra's venom cut like a knife, gave Carl's mom a tortured life. The curse spread fast, cancer's might. Hellbound journey, endless night. Carl swore with fire in his eyes, Cobra's fate won't be disguised. Alone and toothless he shall wane, spiteful echo of Carl's pain. Years went by, no mercy shown. Carl's anger had fully grown. With a chant fierce and strong, he cursed Cobra all night long. Whispers dark filled the air. Cobra felt the creeping snare. Fangs would rot and skin would crack. All his dreams turned pitch black. Carl swore with fire in his eyes, Cobra's fate won't be disguised. Alone and toothless he shall wait, spiteful echo of Carl's pain.
Man, that chain is hardcore. That's rocking.
They got on a hot topic.
The UIS, the UIS, the UIS. Welcome
marbles recovered.
Well. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the UIS. Where have you all been? Damn. What do we got here tonight? We got me. We got Haley Cakes with 2 Ys. Once was Animal. Ken Smith. Good to see you again. Cringe Minion. Members only. Ellie Ray. Ivy Mike. Good to see you. Audio. What does the UIS
Now it's right. Yep. I made a video yesterday, day before, and I had it switched over to the other mic. God damn it. But anyways, shit. You probably could hear me a little bit because I'm loud as fuck, and so you hear me on the other mic back there maybe a little bit. Anyways, good to see you all. I was reading off the names. The Haley Cakes with 2 Ys. Once was Animal, Ken Smith, Cringe Minion, members only. Ellie Ray, Ivy Mike. Once was Animal. Did I say that already? Might have. Sunshine, goddamn. Been a while. Can hear you because Ivy is listening. Yes. So it has been a while since we've gone live. I had scheduled this live last week or so, wanting to do a sort of a Cobra night, but just kept getting put off by one thing or another. But we are going to do it tonight. Sunshine is standing right next to you. Uh-oh. Restraining order is no longer in effect, I guess. That's good. It's always good to have a happy ending like that. So I do have it queued up. I looked through a couple of videos trying to figure out what we should watch. Holy shit, Ken Smith has sent 5 goddamn memberships. Woo! Thank you, my friend. And if anyone has any other ideas, definitely open to it. But I have Bite-Sized Cobra's series queued up. And so we will show that here in a moment. Just watching the Liquid Chris arc. Yep, I have the very first one in here. The origin story. Figure it's the most comprehensive, something we can just keep on doing. Not a one and done kind of thing. But before we get to that, we'll go over to, which one do we want to pick? We'll do this one here. There we go. So, it's Cobra night, so we don't want to get off on Star Wars, but there was always talk about, have I ever read any of the Star Wars comics? And I'm not that nerdy, so I haven't. But I subscribed to Marvel Unlimited for the trial, and I actually read one of the Star Wars comic books, the Darth Vader comic book made in 2021, something like that, so relatively new. But while I was digging around, I found this. This is brand new. What kind of bullshit is this? Marvel and DC. Spider-Man and Superman. It really was. Yes, I do agree that the Vader comic was very good. I started off trying to read the original Star Wars comic from 1977. I got through maybe 2 episodes. It was just horse shit. I mean, it was just such bad drawings. Oh, God. Too many words. I don't like any goddamn words. So, yeah, the Vader comic was really good. But there's this. There's this. What the hell? Darth Mormon. Yeah, that was the last 2 episodes, or the last 2 where he had the mask and it created the castle for him and all that stuff on Mustafar. So yeah, that was cool. So upcoming, maybe I might do a Marvel Unlimited kind of review or something like that. Because I do have comics. I have comics back from the 90s. A whole shitload of them. I've got some from the 60s, some from the 70s, 80s, and quite a few from the 90s that are still in their little boxes, all wrapped up in the closet. I have to bring them out one night and take a look. All right, so let's get over. Let's use maybe that one. Yeah, why not? So yeah, this right here is where we're going to start. Nice and easy. KingCobraJFS Part 1, The Origin Story by Bite Size Cobra. Now, there was some question about Jessica. And yeah, Jessica has not been all that visible, but she is still around. And she is still on YouTube, last I saw. I believe it was Jessica Messica. Not sure exactly what the hell's going on there. But Jessica Messica was the one who gave up the current address. Which might be gone now. Yeah, Queen Naja now. And I don't know if she realized that she put the last 4 letters of her username as anal. So there it is, naked and laughing, Queen Naja or Naj Anal. 2 months ago was her last video, which she may have gone live since then, because you know how she is, how she always has been. She'll go live and she'll delete it. So you have to look to Jessica Messica and not the HRH to really catch anything. And so occasionally right here, drinking, crying, spitting on cars from 2 months ago. Now, March, April 2026 digest from 3 weeks ago. So she does capture whatever she puts out. Naja is a scientific name for cobras. She is just such, oh my God, she's just no identity of her own. Just latch on to that cobra and just, you would think you'd ride it until it dies, but he died. But still, she's not giving up. Sad, sad thing. So, as far as updates on Cobra, I have not heard any. I haven't heard really much about Clint. Nothing more about the Etsy stuff, selling off all of his stuff. I guess that's done now. Nothing new from the coroner's office, even though they still have it up there where they say they will provide more information, but nothing yet. So yeah, all right, we will go ahead and get started. Hope you guys enjoy. And I am going to put up Bite Size Cobra's link. Yeah, there was no real investigation going on there. Whoa. That's a big old piece of text right there.
Joshua Faye Saunders, aka KingCobraJFS, was born to parents Clint and Laura. Clinton Dean Saunders was born on the 15th of September 1969 in Casper, Wyoming, to parents Alan and Sandy. Josh's biological mother's name is Laura Debbie Ann Goodrow, born February 1971, and is believed to be from Cheyenne. She graduated from Wheatland High School in Wyoming. Clint was diagnosed with ADHD, and his parents were very strict with him. According to Josh, they were strict with him because they thought it was their fault that Clint had ADHD.
Yeah, he did.
Clint went to Natrona High School in Casper, Wyoming, and had a passion for gymnastics. Clint was named the top male gymnast in high school before graduating in 1987. Clint said he'd always wanted to be an artist since he was in grade school, but didn't display any particular talent.
That's the best you can come up with for being an artist.
At the time. Clint remembers a time when he drew a picture of a man playing by a pool and called it his masterpiece. In junior and senior high, Clint got D's in his art classes and became very frustrated, but didn't give up. He ended up going to college, getting low grades again, but said his main interest was gymnastics. Sadly, Clint got injured and couldn't compete professionally. According to Josh, one of Clint's first jobs was a vacuum cleaner salesman, and he even attended a class that taught him how to vacuum properly so he could be a better salesman. Clint went back to college at the age of 21 and took night classes at Casper College in photography. He knew when he first held a camera that it was his destiny to become a photographer. He said he became interested in photo montage after seeing a poster by artist Jerry Ullsman in his instructor's office. Clint asked his instructor how to create photo montage art, but his instructor said it was too advanced for his course, Introduction to Photography. Clint ignored his tutor and began spending 20 to 30 hours a week trying to develop photo montage skills. However, he would end up quitting the photography course, feeling that art and photography were just better as hobbies and not career paths. Josh's parents met in Casper, Wyoming, and got married between December 14th and the 21st, 1990. As you can see from this newspaper article, Josh's mother was mistakenly named Laurel. Joshua Faye Saunders was born March 26, 1991, in Casper, Wyoming, at the Wyoming Medical Center. Josh was born with underdeveloped lungs and was placed in an incubator. Josh's parents were very young, only 20 and 21 years old at the time. When Josh was a child, apparently Laura did not breastfeed him and instead opted to feed him formula. Josh claimed that he had a bad reaction to this formula and it allegedly made him bleed from his rectum. At this time, Clint was working at a convenience store and later claimed he was only earning $3 an hour. Clint shared a small apartment with Laura and Josh.
That sounds... I don't know. I mean, my first job, I was making $3.35 an hour, and that was in 1989.
Clint owned a '66 Mustang since the age of 15 that he had restored. Unfortunately, he totaled his car by crashing it into a deer, but ended up selling it to help pay for Josh's medical bills. Josh's parents ended up getting divorced in 1992 or 93. Josh described his biological mother as being crazy, possibly suffering from a mental illness, and said that Clint had to fight for custody of Josh. Josh often spoke about the custody battle between his parents and said that his mum would take him to church every time they had visitation with her. Josh said that his biological mother's family were tight-knit Christians. Sometime after their divorce, Clint was forced to move to Miles City, Montana to share custody of Josh because Laura's parents lived in Billings, Montana. Josh recalled a time when his dad took him to see some family members around Christmas, but the trip was cut short when Laura fraudulently called the police on Clint. Laura attempted to maintain a relationship with Josh throughout his life by sending him clothes and candy, but Josh hated it and developed a deep-seated contempt for her as the years passed. Around this time, Clint started his own gymnastics training business and claimed to have several branches in Montana for around 7 years. While in Miles City, Montana, Clint coached in a club called Rhino Gymnastics for Kids in Miles City and Glendive, Montana. The club was apparently named after Clint's favorite animal, a rhino. Clint and one of his gymnastics teams went on to compete in the United States of America Gymnastics Junior Olympics. Clint rented a space for his gymnastics class in a church which boasted a bell tower that Josh became enamored with. This could possibly be the origin of what would become a lifelong obsession for Josh. Josh said that he was always obsessed with bell towers and said that he grew up watching Disney films like The Hunchback of Notre Dame and studied Big Ben, the famous clock tower in London, England. Around 1993, Josh began kindergarten. When Josh was 3 years old, he said he
Now, if he was born in 91, how did he start kindergarten in 93?
became fascinated with tobacco pipes after seeing the cartoon character Roger smoke one in the 1961 children's cartoon animation 101 Dalmatians. Josh also claimed that his passion for music started around this age. One of Josh's fondest memories of kindergarten was going to a park in Miles City, Montana called the Triangle Park and looking at the church bells of Sacred Heart Catholic Church. Josh claimed he was speaking at a 5th grade level at this point and said he didn't fit in socially with the other students because they were just learning their ABCs and he felt he was intellectually superior. However, Josh was held back a year due to a lack of social skills required to complete kindergarten. Josh said that this made him feel stupid for a long time until his dad later assured him that it was his Asperger's syndrome that held him back in kindergarten. Sometime before 1995, Clint gained sole custody of Josh. Throughout his childhood, Josh's family knew something was off with him and said that he was different from other children. Clint took him from doctor to doctor, and Josh was put on several medications including Strattera and Ritalin for ADHD, and Zoloft, an antidepressant, to try and improve his behavior before he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome in 2004 when he was 13 years old, and he was also sent to counselors. To better understand Josh's mental health, Clint ended up going back to college to study psychology and work with kids with mental health issues. Clint claimed he had quit good jobs for lesser paying ones so that he could spend more time with Josh at home and help him. Josh said that he created his first food combo in Miles City, Montana, when he mixed nacho cheese Doritos with Cheetos. On August 31st, 1995, Clint ended up meeting his future wife Tanis Loverchek at Miles Community College, where she was teaching history and government studies. Clint said that he only enrolled in her course because he heard a rumor from one of his friends that there was a new hot history teacher. Clint ended up dropping out of her class very early, but asked Tanis out on a date. Tanis accepted, and they had their first date on September 9th, becoming engaged only a week later on September 14th. Tanis is originally from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and graduated from
Isn't Tanis that weird root from Rosemary's Baby?
East High School in 1986. On June 16th, 1996, Clint and Tanis got married in Tanis' home city and capital of Wyoming, Cheyenne, where Josh was the ring bearer. In 1997, Clint and Tanis had their first child together, named Tiana. Also in 1997, Josh's biological mother, Laura, gave birth to Josh's half-sister. Sometime in the first grade, Josh had to do a school project about his ancestry and make a poster. Josh said that he found out he had British ancestry
Character in
due to there being
Dragonlance.
a mansion with his last name, Saunders, located somewhere in England. Josh spoke about his first grade teacher named Mrs. Hammerlick, who was very old and drank a lot of coffee and was very mean to him. According to Josh, when she taught him how to read, she prevented him from sounding out words and forced him to track the words with his finger. This apparently hindered Josh's learning, and he claimed that he couldn't read that well until the 8th grade. Josh credited J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter novels for helping him learn to read. As an aside, Clint made a post on the KingCobraJFS subreddit in 2018 recounting the difficulties he had with Josh and the struggles Josh faced growing up. In this revealing post, Clint said that Josh's obsession with having crushes on girls began in the 1st grade. Josh had a crush on the prettiest girl in school and was often hazed by his classmates for liking her. Other students would be cruel and send Josh fake love letters pretending to be from his crush for the remainder of the year. In 1998, Clint and his family moved to South Lake Tahoe, California, and worked as a gymnastics coach and as a security guard for a casino. Josh said that his first experience smelling pipe tobacco was in Lake Tahoe, California. Josh's first paranormal experience was on Easter in a church that his parents dug into in Lake Tahoe. He prayed to God to see Jesus and claimed that he saw him. Josh's first time seeing a bat was when he saw his stepmom Tanis perform at a play, and it was goth as fuck. While in elementary school, Josh was rejected for the very first time by a girl named Daly Perucci that he developed a crush and an obsession with. Daly is happily married and has 2 children. Josh's mum Tanis got the opportunity to go to the University of Dakota in Grand Forks to get her doctorate in history. In 1998 or 99, Josh's family moved to Grand Forks, North Dakota for roughly a year. Clint once again ended up going back to college at the age of 28 to study psychology as his major and worked as a career counselor as well as delivered pizza for Little Caesars. Clint ended up dropping all of his courses and switched to art and photography.
He's got the camera in his hand. Who took the fucking picture? But yeah, Tanis is a fictional herb created by author Ira Levin from his horror Rosemary's Baby.
Again. The only thing Josh can remember about living in Grand Forks was that he used to watch anime like Dragon Ball Z, Tenchi Muyo, and Sailor Moon. Josh recalled his dad buying a blue and hot pink 92 Geo Tracker convertible that he and his dad were going to work on as a project. Josh said that it was his plan to spray paint the car royal blue with black flames to match its blue and black interior. Josh alleged that some kids broke into his car and tore out the CD player, amplifier, and speakers and threw it into his neighbor's yard, which turned out
trust me, bro, I got 2 jobs.
To be his parents' landlord. Josh ordered an Awuga horn, CD player, amplifier, speakers, a new carpet, and a new top for the car.
An Awuga horn? What is that?
Josh's stepmom also bought him a steering wheel cover as a present. Josh was also planning to use a snakehead from a walking cane as a shifter knob. The walking cane originally had a sword in it, but Clint probably knew best and took it out. In the year 2000, Clint moved his family to Valley City, North Dakota, where he attended Minnesota State University and graduated in 2001 with a Bachelor of Science in Graphic Communications. Sadly, the Geo Tracker engine broke, and a brand new one was out of what was presumably Clint's budget. It's assumed that Clint put everything back into the car and sold it, but Josh got to keep all of his hardware for his next project car. In Valley City, Clint was also a curator and an art gallery manager and an art teacher at Valley City State University from 2003 to 2005.
Hey, Enoch, how you doing tonight?
Worked at Valley City State University. Shortly after arriving at Valley City, Josh's parents signed Josh up to a church function / field trip so that Josh could meet new kids and make new friends.
Now, what did the Geo Tracker was something else, wasn't it? Like the Suzuki Tracker? Like they just changed goddamn brands? Could have sworn it was some other kind of tracker. The exact same vehicle, exact same everything. Tracker flipped over just like the regular tracker, but the name was different. Geo, and then it was Suzuki Tracker or something.
During this field trip, this was the first time he would see Alicia Rhodey and had a crush on her instantly. At the end of the trip, Josh bought her a purse from a coin machine for 50 cents at a pizza restaurant after going go-karting. Josh attempted to give Alicia the purse, but she...
And they also have it as a 2004 Chevy Tracker. Fuck. I had a Geo one time. It was a Geo Prism 4-door.
She left it on the table on purpose. Josh thought that Alicia forgot her purse and attempted to give it back to her on the bus, but Josh discovered that she had a boyfriend. When Josh was in 4th grade, in the year 2000 or 2001, he said he was horrendously bullied in school and on the playground, and even on the bus to school. It got so bad even the bus driver had to complain. Josh said that the 4th grade was the worst time of his life. Josh's earliest memory that sparked his obsession with snakes and cobras began after playing the early 90s computer game Buzzy the Knowledge Bug.
Now, it was not the Geo Metro. That was the little egg that everybody had. Mine was more of a sedan. It was a bigger Geo. And so it had 4 doors, and it was probably about the size of my car now.
Specifically, the jungle version. Josh distinctively remembers clicking on a cobra and it hissing. Around 2002,
it wasn't...
Josh's obsession with cobras and snakes grew.
Yeah, I didn't win a lot of races.
After watching The Crocodile Hunter, Spitting Cobras of the World on VHS. Josh's first encounter with a real cobra was he went to the Reptile Gardens in Nemo, South Dakota. The Reptile Gardens had a Malaysian and an Indian cobra on display, and he quote-unquote spurged out. Around this time when Josh was 10 or 11 years old, he began special ed and rode the short bus to school. Josh said he knew a kid named Taylor who would copy everything he said, and also a kid named Juanito who was deaf. Josh claimed he taught Juanito how to flip people off. Josh had a minor misunderstanding with a girl with red hair on the bus after insulting her old grandma by asking if the secret to her mortality was eating lots of yogurt. The girl ended up telling her grandmother, and when the bus came to pick her up, her grandmother would shake her fist at Josh, and in return, Josh made the deaf kid Juanito flip her off. Josh also recalled a time when he got a girl in special ed class to show her breasts to him.
Hold on.
For the majority of Josh's education, he had to go to the resource room to help him learn because of his Asperger's.
The right colors now.
Josh said that the resource room really helped him learn, but opened him up to more bullying by other students. In 2004, Josh was finally diagnosed with autism after Clint's mother read an article about the disorder and the characteristics that fit Josh. As mentioned earlier, Josh was placed on different medications until he was 18 years old.
Mine was boring, sort of a dark blue. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's so much cheaper on gas. My Kia Forte is great. I mean, I don't really care too much about gas prices. I had to fill up today. It holds 12 gallons. And so it sucks, but I only have to fill up like once a month.
Although Josh claims this was when he was diagnosed,
R.I.P. KC.
He contradicts and possibly misremembers exactly when his parents found out he had autism. Shortly after being diagnosed with autism, Josh told his dad he was still getting bullied on the bus. Clint allegedly rode the bus to school with Josh and lectured the students about Josh and his autism. Josh claimed that this helped, and the kids stopped bullying Josh for the most part. Whilst in 6th grade, Josh was friends with another handicapped student named Marshall Peterson.
Got distracted.
Josh remembered a time when his teacher, Mrs. Gaylor, pulled him and the other students into a classroom and taught them about sex. Josh said that he was hot under the collar, learning about sex for the very first time.
Hot under the collar.
Clint has said in the past, due to Josh's autism, he has the mind of an 11 or 12-year-old.
Yeah, this right here is a bad thing to have done. Yeah, let's go on Reddit. Yeah.
And would constantly brag about things that he thought was cool.
Rewatching Breaking Bad. Almost got her convinced that she'd look really cool driving a Pontiac Aztek.
Cool, like his sexual conquests. For many years, Clint tried to instill a sense of respect for women in Josh, teaching him.
Oh, Clint really did try, I think, but it's just he has that small town mentality, and he went global with it, and it doesn't work.
Not to treat them like objects. According to Clint, Josh's whole family are feminists. Around this time in 2004, the popular video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was released, and Josh bugged his dad to get it for him.
Whoa.
After spending a few hours with Josh whilst he played it, Clint became very offended by the amount of violence towards women in the game, like killing hookers. Clint put his foot down and said that these types of video games were not allowed in his household.
I bet, he's dealing. luckily, he's not alone. He's got his family, his new kids, his current wife, all that stuff. And you just said it definitely sucks to say this, but you have to just push on.
Clint said that he argued with Josh over the subject millions of times, but he never relented. Before junior high at Valley City Junior Senior High School, when Josh was roughly 12 or 13 years old, he really wanted a guitar and found one he really wanted. So he asked his parents to buy it for him, but they told him he had too many instruments and he had to buy it for himself. But they offered to pay for lessons. So Josh began his very first job with a paper route at the Valley City Times Record, delivering newspapers in the winter. Josh finally got enough money and bought his BC Rich Warlock for $777 and some odd cents.
Damn.
Online from the website musiciansfriend.com. Josh nicknamed his guitar the Grim Reaper. Josh had two teachers growing up, Zach McGoth and John Rudolph. After only learning the basics, Josh stopped taking guitar lessons. Josh also quit the paper route to join the wrestling team in high school.
Yeah, and that went a lot better than I thought it was going to when Clint made that video. First, like everybody else, I thought it was going to be live, and I thought everybody was going to shit on it. There was going to be 12 different versions of Jessica's in chat, and it was just going to be a real shit show. But it was good the way he did it. There was some trolling, of course. There was normal trolling. Good trolling and bad, but didn't get out of hand.
Whilst in junior high, Josh would develop a strange, self-indulgent brand of spiritualism, placing himself as sort of an icon at the center of it. Josh formed what he called a gang or a cult with his close friends, and they would smoke cigarettes and practice magic. Josh said that the cult's colors were black and green, his favorite colors. Josh said that he was the leader of the gang, and dubbed himself King Cobra, a nickname he would go on to use as his persona across all of his creative endeavors, including his music and on YouTube. This cult idea would evolve into creating his own religion, loosely based on Satanism, whose followers are dubbed the Cobra Demons. The religion's main deity is a god called Cobratin, and a goddess called Cobratius, and their son Cabrero. Josh spoke vaguely about his religion, and said that male members of his religion were called Cobra Demons, and if a Cobra Demon had a girlfriend, they would be called a Cobra Angel. Josh expanded on the lore, saying that there are good and bad Cobra Angels and Demons, and said that animals could be Cobra Angels and Cobra Demons. Josh also said that there was a great war fought between the animal Cobra Demons and Angels, and the King Cobra ultimately...
And what's with the goddamn teddy bears in the background of the Cobra? What the hell, they got a problem with teddy bears?
After many years of battle, emerged victorious. Josh was later quizzed about his religion and was asked if males can be Cobra Angels, but Josh said no, and that Satan told him that it had to be this way because it was easier to understand.
Yeah, with Cyrax, he would switch up things and hate someone, but then if they talked to him, he would love him all of a sudden, be good friends with him. Cobra never relented. Always hated Cyrax.
Josh said that his religion was heavily based on Harry Potter and wanted to write his own story about his religion, but it never materialized. As well as being influenced by the novels, the creation of Josh's religion probably also served as a way for him to cope with the stresses of being a social pariah. Central to his own internal mythos, Josh created his now famous symbol. Josh said that he would draw the well-known Stussy S and the head of a hooded cobra, and then receive divine inspiration and combine them both to form what some might say is a vaguely phallic symbol, and named it the Cobragram. Originally, as Josh explains it, the 4 circles represent energy, mind, spirit, and body. The Stussy S resembles all 4 elements entwining with each other back into itself. The line connecting both symbols represents belief. Over the years, Josh has revised the meaning of the origin of the Cobragram. The exact significance has become very fuzzy, with Josh struggling to explain the original meaning and importance
Arcade
of
Wraith,
not only
welcome.
the Cobragram, but also his religion overall. Josh would later say that his symbol is meant to represent the image of a hooded cobra from behind, and that's all. Later, when Josh turned 18 years old, Josh got his cobragram tattooed on his forearm by the cousin of his first guitar instructor.
I gotta see if I can still draw it. Let's see. It's like this, 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 that, like that. Oh, I think I fucked something up. Anyways.
Zach McGough at McGough Tattoo Parlor in Valley City, North Dakota. In the beginning, Josh's parents were accepting of his religion and went along with it. However, as Josh got older and it became more deeply ingrained into his already unstable personality, Clint threatened to send Josh to a psychologist and told him that he needed some help. Josh claims that Clint told him he was psychotic and that he didn't have cobra powers. Clint tried to make Josh understand that it was his Asperger's syndrome that was the reason why he was so obsessed about these beliefs. Josh was mad at his parents and argued the case that this was his freedom of religion and he had the right to believe in whatever he wanted because it wasn't hurting anyone. Clint gave in, but cautioned Josh he shouldn't talk about his made-up religion because it would make him look quote-unquote crazy. In junior high, Josh had a crush on actress Lindsay Lohan. Josh recalled a time when he was playing basketball in gym class and spaced out thinking about her and got an erection. Josh said that this was very inappropriate and the other kids made fun of him. When Josh was around 12 or 13, he used his grandparents' computer in their basement to try and search for naked pictures of singer Britney Spears.
Well, who didn't?
Josh forgot to clear his search history, and at the dinner table, his granddad told him,
Did that this morning.
"So, I heard Britney Spears has some nice boobies." At the end of Josh's junior year, he mixed some of his parents' Bacardi from the liquor cabinet with some juice and drank it. After Josh got tipsy, he attended the school dance at the Valley City Teen Center. Josh fondly recounted dancing like a male stripper to AC/DC and flirted with the girls. Josh also fondly recounted seeing two girls kissing and became very aroused. After the dance, Josh's parents found out that he had pilfered their alcohol and they punished him for it. Around this time, Josh went back to Cheyenne to see his family. Although he couldn't remember who arranged it, Josh ended up meeting with his biological mother Laura at the mall and they ate pizza. Josh said that they hardly spoke to each other and described the experience as being very awkward. This would be the last time he would meet his biological mother Laura in person. In 2005, Josh's half-sister Sammy was born.
What's going on
Sammy
there?
was born with hearing difficulties and a medical condition called funnel chest, a condition which a person's breastbone is sunken into their chest. Around this time, Josh discovered Cradle of Filth after searching for ghost videos on Google Video. Cradle of Filth's song, Her Ghost in the Fog.
Now, I think we tried Cradle of Filth with the Cyrax dance. I think it's one of the very few songs that just does not work at all.
Was recommended as a video. Josh listened to the song and was instantly an adorant fan. Josh's parents, however, didn't like him listening to this type of music and took some half-assed measures to prevent him from listening to the band. These attempts obviously failed, and they just made Josh want to listen to them even more. In his desperation to stem Josh's obsession, Clint cited an article about goths being Satanists. Josh claimed he showed his dad an article countering the argument, and Clint apologized to Josh after this rebuttal. Around this time, Josh started listening to Ozzy Osbourne after watching an interview with the lead singer of Cradle of Filth, Danny Filth. Danny Filth said that one of his idols was Ozzy Osbourne, so Josh gave Ozzy a try, and the rest, of course, is history. Ozzy became one of Josh's idols. In 2006, when he was in his freshman year at Valley City Junior-Senior High School, in the previously mentioned subreddit post from 2018, Clint spoke about Josh's hygiene. Clint noted that Josh's hygiene was abysmal, and he would often be late to school because Clint would send Josh back to his room to change in some clean clothes and even brush his teeth. which would, of course, end up in a massive argument between them both. Clint referenced sensory aversions associated with Asperger's and attributed Josh's objection to normal hygiene practices to this.
But also, teenagers are just gross. I mean, that's just life.
Josh's poor hygiene, in particular his resistance to oral care, would continue into his adulthood. To try and attract women in school, Josh would wear Axe Chocolate Dark Temptation shower gel on the odd occasion he would shower. As Josh's personality developed throughout his teenage years, we see the beginnings of what would be long-term repetitive and obsessive behaviors and talking points. These included using hygiene products to attract women, becoming a famous musician, becoming rich, building his dream house by winning the lottery, and of course, like most of us, winning the heart of a big-titty gothic queen to share his clock-towered kingdom with. Unlike his peers at this point in his life, he wouldn't grow out of these childish expectations of what his life would be. It could be speculated that Josh indulged in these delusions as a form of escapism. Josh would continue to be mercilessly bullied by other students who would call him weird and commented about his obsession with snakes and cobras. Some of his peers would even go as
Yeah, it is. It is. I never even heard of Cradle of Filth until I watched IT Crowd.
No, I'm not bisexual, but I am goth.
far as smacking him in the nuts. Josh said that there was a specific time when he was in the cafeteria eating a bowl of Doritos when his neighbor smacked him in the nuts. Josh said he flipped out and beat the kid with a chair and quote-unquote punched every inch of him. Josh said that the kid was fat and didn't put up much of a fight. But apparently, this wasn't Josh's first fight, and he said that he'd been in many fights and claimed he'd never lost a single one. In Trapp's Gothic King Cobra documentary, Josh called wrestling the gayest sport ever. He said he hated wrestling, and one of the reasons being was he couldn't wear his glasses and he was practically blind during these practice sessions. Josh also mentioned during the documentary that girls would wear singlets for wrestling. He contemplated whether or not he would be disqualified from a match if he were to wrestle a girl and get a boner.
But I mean, if you can't see anything, you can always just pretend you're wrestling a girl, and it doesn't matter.
Josh also recalled a time when he was getting dressed for wrestling and other students would make fun of his pubic hair, joking that a bear was attacking his crotch. Around this time, Josh said that a girl named Demi kept smacking him in the nuts. Josh said that he would never hit a woman, and he let this continue for months. Josh's parents even told her in person at a restaurant to stop hitting Josh in the nuts. Demi ended up ignoring Josh's parents' request. Eventually, Josh grew tired of Demi hitting him in the nuts, so he pushed her down to the ground in front of her friends. Josh believed
and then gave her the Hogan leg drop.
She had a crush on him and didn't know how to tell him. He said he exclaimed, "I'm tired of people hitting me in the nuts." According to him, he wasn't hit in the nuts ever again from that day forward. Josh would often mention that if he ever told his dad that he liked a girl, Clint would jokingly make fun of Josh for having a crush on them. Infuriated by this, Josh would take an antagonistic approach, calling them ugly and some sort of twisted effort to prove it to his dad he didn't like them after all. The inability to distinguish when people are and aren't joking is a common trait of autism and could explain why Josh perceived his dad's playful jokes as genuine torment. This is something Clint probably should have been aware of by this time.
I think we're all aware of that. I mean, Cobra couldn't differentiate between bad trolling and good trolling.
Throughout high school, Josh's major crush was still Alicia Rhodey.
Yeah, that was a bad
Josh
picture.
shared an art class with and thought that she was the most attractive girl at school. Josh became completely obsessed with her. Alicia teased and bullied Josh in high school along with her quote-unquote preppy friends. Josh claimed that Alicia would come to school wearing revealing clothing, and Alicia would signal to her friends to watch while she got Josh's attention, only to say out loud, "Stop staring at me!" Years later, Josh would try and reframe Alicia's behavior as her expressing attraction for him. Josh would often accompany his stepmother when she would drop his sister Sammy off at daycare. He recalled a time when he started
Damn, what the fuck did King or Bite Size do? Just go digging through this lady's Facebook?
Petting a dog outside the daycare, which coincidentally turned out to be Alicia's dog named Mud. Later in 2010, after Josh left Valley City, he stalked Alicia on social media. Josh even once used his
As Bite Size Cobra apparently did as well.
magic to help Alicia win a Hooters competition, where she wore a green dress. Green as in Josh's favourite colour, and her number was 4, one of Josh's favourite numbers. Josh also began writing a story that he didn't finish, called A Special Blonde in 2012, which features a protagonist based on Alicia.
But she's not even goth!
Sometime in junior high, Josh said he was pressured into smoking weed but declined the offer. He was pressured into smoking weed again in his senior year at Natrona High in Casper by his friend Tevin Reams, and he accepted. Josh says that smoking weed helps with his Asperger's and chooses to self-medicate. In high school, Josh got more and more frustrated with being bullied and took it out on a disabled student named Carl Odegaard.
There we go, we got Carl. We heard about Carl in the intro.
Why do you care how I jack off?
Josh claims that Carl was very annoying and would bug Josh constantly trying to be his friend. Josh recalled a particularly bothersome thing that Carl would do, and it was that he would call his shoes smileys. Josh recalled a time that he got Carl to get aggressive towards him after Josh hugged a girl that Carl liked named Jennifer. Carl ended up taking a swing at Josh but missed, and Josh threatened to punch him. However, a teacher intervened before he could and sent Josh to class. Josh said that if he hit Carl, all the other kids in school would be mad at him for bullying a special needs kid. Josh's parents and teachers were very upset with him and lectured him about bullying Carl at a parent-teacher meeting. Patronizingly, they said that they should be friends because he and Carl were alike. Josh told himself he wasn't like Carl and said that this was the moment his gothic cobra inside of him awakened. Josh said that this was the exact moment he knew he was goth. Josh went on to list off reasons why he was in fact nothing like Carl. He said the experience made him hate Carl even more. Josh also found it frustrating that other students could bully him, but he couldn't do it to another kid that was more disabled than him. Later, Josh would try and justify his behavior towards Carl by claiming that he was bullied by Carl first. In high school, Josh still thought of himself as the class clown and would do things like pick his nose and eat it in front of his classmates. Later in his adulthood, Josh would say that this was one of his biggest regrets. On October 29, 2007, Josh attended his first concert ever, the Ozzy Osbourne Black Rain Tour, in Fargo, North Dakota. Sometime in 2008, Josh was gifted a '52 Ford pickup by his grandparents on his dad's side, from their junkyard on their ranch in Cheyenne. Josh nicknamed the pickup The Beast because of the sound of his exhaust. Josh even wrote a song about his pickup on his first album, Blood Cemetery, called The Beast, but it was cut from the album as it did not fit on a physical CD. Josh and his dad took the truck to a garage in Cheyenne, where it sat for 2 years. Clint argued with the mechanics because they planned to move to Casper soon, and they wanted the car repaired before then. The mechanics allegedly did a half-assed job and screwed Josh's dad out of a lot of money. Clint ended up threatening to report the mechanics to the Better Business Bureau, and it was resolved. Josh's uncle owed his family a favor, so he agreed to work on the truck. Josh's lazy Uncle Don was staying with his grandparents at the time, but unfortunately for Josh, he would never finish the repairs. In his senior year, after he turned 18 in 2009, Josh claimed he got his first kiss from a girl he didn't know outside of an abandoned building while he was ditching gym class. Josh said that he was listening to Cradle of Filth and Ozzy Osbourne on his iPod Nano and was smoking a Salem Full 100 when 2 homeschooled girls walked by.
Very specific.
They got chatting, and one of the girls who had a boyfriend felt bad for Josh and gave him his first kiss. Josh, in a state of total bliss, floated home to tell his dad. Josh's happiness was soon punctured when Clint could smell cigarette smoke from Josh as soon as he got home. At this point, Josh said that he would never get advice about girls from his dad ever again.
And come on, bite-sized Cobra, you couldn't have drawn a cigarette in there real quick? Guess I'll have to do all this hard work. There we go.
Clint would later claim as soon as Josh turned 18 years old, he became an adult and stopped taking his medication and instantly began
gadgets.
smoking because he wanted to be normal. In Valley City, Josh got his first job at a frozen pizza factory called The Pizza Corner, which was owned by Clint's friend. Josh worked on the production line. Pizza Corner was eventually sold, and Clint would go on to start a photography business with the owner called Obsessed Photographers. On May 28, 2009,
Alright, pull out your pepperoni. Let me take a picture of it.
Clint announced on social media that he and his family were moving back to Casper, Wyoming. Josh started school at Natrona County High School in Casper as a senior on August 22, 2009. Josh created his Facebook account around this time and posted about starting in his new school. Josh made friends with Christopher Moore, Michael Baldwin, and Alex Campbell whilst at school, but also endured more bullying.
Now, Christopher Moore, that's Chris, who lived with him for a while.
Josh recalled a time when he was on the school bus, and younger kids would make fun of him for wearing nail
Scotty
polish,
as well?
but claimed other kids would stick up for him. Josh even threw insults back at the kids by swearing at them. On September 12th, Josh's friend Chris Moore, who would later be known as Couch Chris, commented on Josh's Facebook post of him pretending to be a white vampire. "Vampire in my house. The white vampire has an evil grin on its face. Lol. Total badass. Thanks." Most of Josh's Facebook history of this time consisted of him posting music videos to his favourite bands and talking about cars and other random things. On Josh's 19th birthday, Josh said he went to Barnes & Noble with his stepmom Tanis and she bought him a Playboy magazine. Josh's parents told him that if he didn't graduate from high school, he'd be grounded for the entire summer. Josh said that he spent the last few weeks of senior high busting his ass.
As someone who has a few too many kilts, I'm offended by that picture.
Throughout his years in high school, Josh's yearbook photos stood out from those of his peers. He would often pose with his guitar, and Clint would Photoshop the photos to include a badass background and perform some obvious touch-ups on them, including reapplying his eyebrows that Josh would often shave halfway off. Clint was allegedly the photographer that took the senior year photos for Josh's class, including...
Oh, so he actually fucking photoshopped his pictures in the real yearbook, not just in his copy of it.
Josh's crush, Alicia Rhodey. Clint announced on Facebook that Josh would be graduating from Natrona County High School. "My boy is going to graduate, wahoo!" Because the little stink decided to make us wait until the very last minute, literally, school got out today for seniors, we just found out. I won't have grad invites out before the ceremony, but I will send the announcement as soon as I can. You rock, Josh. On July 28, 2010, Josh created his Vampire Freaks profile. On June 13, 2010, Josh created his first YouTube channel under the name Gothic King Cobra 52.
Looks like MySpace. So that is it for the first episode. Thought it was longer than that. Nope, 38 minutes. Now the second one is definitely a lot longer. We probably won't even bother with that tonight. Let me see here. Part 2 is, hour and 33 minutes. So it's up to you guys. We could start this, watch it for a few minutes, or find something else Cobra related, food hack, now nonsense. But there is no new now nonsense, so that's kind of meh. Let's see here. Let's switch over to this one. That's good. Cooking with King Cobra. Let's see what this one is. I never heard of this person. Lidoc. Find one that's maybe a reasonable length. What she said. None of these are reasonable lengths. This one's it. Making Dank Barbecue Ribs Part 2. Jerky. Stuffed crust pizza. Why is it always the part 2s are the... Dank mac and cheese. The mini set. Oh, yeah. And that one video that H-Bomb did where he sort of sassified Cobra's voice. On the doll saga. Yeah, I don't know why Cyrax didn't try Minecraft. It seems like that would be right up his alley as far as the kids liking it and him liking kids.
What is up, YouTube? What up? Happy.
All right, let's see if we can find the worst. And I've played Minecraft a few times. I never really could get into it. And I've never played it, like, really played it. I've always played, like, the adventure mode where it's basically cheating. Food hacking leftovers. That looks pretty gross. As does this. Because, you know, any kind of leftover is not going to have been refrigerated.
What up, YouTube? We got our pan turned onto a medium. We're going to take some butter.
And I play with my daughter a little bit, but again, she's the one who wants to play, and she's the one who builds everything. And then I just go in, we go in multiplayer so that I can see everything that she's built. Or she puts the big, you know, UIS logo on things for me.
Country Crock Original. Slap it in there. Slap it in there. Yeah, we need a shit ton of butter for our little deal here. Yes, give us a nice pan of that. Big old scoops of Country Crock Original. Let's go. Now we got that in there. We're gonna let that do its thing.
I think I have a few of her.
Add some Bud Light. A little bit of that Bud Light.
Let me see.
All right. Now we're gonna take.
Now this one is one.
And we're gonna make a bomb-ass burrito out of it.
This was several years ago.
It's a California burrito, which consists of all the good stuff like steak, potatoes, and sour cream. But I do it up and I have them add beef, bacon, extra cheese, and guacamole for what I like to call a Viva La Mexico burrito. And it is simply the fucking dankest burrito at Poncho's. I don't care what anyone says.
I like the idea of Minecraft, you know, building stuff.
We have it in our bag, and we're gonna fry the burrito up in this buttery goodness.
Same reason.
It a little bit. Yeah.
One of the reasons I like Once Human and things like that, you know, building houses.
That's what's up.
That game Cubic Odyssey I really liked. It was sort of a mix between Once Human and Minecraft.
YouTube. It came with some sauces, but we're gonna wait till the end to put those on there. You feel me, YouTube? All right.
I don't know if this is going to be good or not. I thought it was going to be good with leftovers, but...
Burrito YouTube, it's ridiculous. Show you the goods. Let me show you the goods, damn it. Look at that. Look at that fucker, dude. Hold on, I'm getting a close-up of this goodness. YouTube. That is a burrito, okay? You see this massive motherfucker?
Yeah, last I've heard of Clint, he went back to England, taking the small travel version of Cobra's urn with him.
In there like that.
That good old bug-rito.
And hold it down on the seal so it seals up.
I think I still have that video in here
Now,
somewhere.
the goal for this is to make the burritos, or the burrito, you know, nice and golden brown. So I'm going to try to chimichanga it and make it look tasty for you. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I got this video here. And so that video was from January 9th, 2026, when Clint went to London, taking Cobra to Big Ben. Now, the first time I saw it, it confused the hell out of me, thinking he brought this big-ass urn, because we've seen the urn. It's big. Big, green, black, all that stuff. But then you see right there, you see his finger, how small the urn is, and it's a travel size. And I didn't even know they had something like that. And apparently it's a normal thing. A travel size urn. Yeah, I don't think it probably would have been a good idea to try to get Cobra on a plane for that many hours and try to keep him controlled.
Pretty good by itself, but when you you got leftover Mexican food fried up in a
Nicotine you could probably handle with gums and lozenges and things like that.
chimichanga that bitch.
But him drinking, yeah, he probably wouldn't be able to control it. And next thing you know, there was an incident. And then he's on the news.
I'll hold it down flat on the seal so it doesn't fall apart.
Yep, like his dip. And so he could probably do that.
Hot burrito.
They probably wouldn't have liked it, but as long as he was discreet, I'm sure he could have gotten away with it.
Flip in the pan here. Try not to break it open. A little bit of beer on top.
Yeah, it's like if you were going to go the alcohol route, you would have to overdo it to where he was blackout drunk and just wake up in London.
Oh, shit.
This was like the worst food hack ever.
That's enough beer for our burrito. Perfect amounts.
I mean, half this video has been the side of a pot and his beard. This is the I picked the absolute worst video.
It's hot.
You can't even see the roaches from that angle.
Add some stuff to it. Want to sprinkle on some of that cheese, some of that nice sharp.
Caught his stovetop on fire.
All right, on top of our chimichanga.
And I'm sure everybody thought that was going to be a disaster. Like he would just spray water all over it and just make it so much worse. But it didn't happen.
Throw it on there. Just throw it on there, man. Don't give any fucks. Just throw the cheese on there, man. Yeah. Put that cheese on there. You know what I'm saying? Just throw the goddamn cheese on there. Just show no mercy. Throw some cheese on top of that bitch. Look at that.
I mean, if it wasn't for
cheese.
Clint, of course, you know, giving him assistance in everything, he probably wouldn't have been able to have his own apartment. But still, he was able to sort of maintain it fairly well. It's something Cyrax never could do.
Goodness. That'll melt to the burrito. Beautiful. And then last but not least, we're going to take some Doritos, just a little tiny handful, and squeeze it on top of our cheese. Oh, chimichanga.
Did he say Doritos? Squeezing Doritos?
Nacho cheese, Doritos.
In fact, I don't know too many lolcows who have done less than Cyrax. I mean, shit, even Chris Chan.
Take a little bit, crunch them up, put them on top.
You know, graduated high school, got a driver's license.
Oh, I sprinkle. Just a light sprinkle.
Hell, even Larson, I think, is more advanced than Cyrax. I mean,
Yeah, that's enough Doritos.
Larson cried and whined every once in a while, but when he got sent to jail, he wasn't crying. He wasn't, you know, he took it like a man.
Over the top of our chimichanga here, whatever you want to call it, food hack.
I think if Cobra had gone into group home
Get that
setting
cheese nice and gooey.
before the internet,
It's lifted into the microwave.
I won't say fame, but you know, before being known, he probably would have done very well.
Oh, that's beautiful looking. Okay, now
But then once, you know, once he became known around the internet, it probably wouldn't have worked out very well.
Tease me, squeeze me. Yes, please. We're gonna add some hot sauces. We got our green and our red sauce.
Because, you know, the trolls aren't going to just stop with him once they know that there's a group home, other people involved. So there's going to be other people being screwed with. It happened with Black Dragon Tony. It happened with Larson.
So I did the best I could, you two.
It happened with Yoko or Dylan. Hey, family. Good to see you, my friend.
But Ponchos is more authentic than Taco Bell. No offense to anyone.
Forgot I was streaming. Damn it. Hey, Jacob, welcome.
Oh.
R.I.P. Cobes.
Yeah.
Why isn't that pin up there? Hold on.
Take a fork. And we're gonna another fork, and we're gonna
There we go.
put the cheese that's melted on the side and just put it on top. Yes, that's beautiful. Hold up. YouTube, hold up. Hold up. Oh, that is fucking beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that is gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous.
Let's see. Have I seen that one?
And we're just gonna drizzle it on top. Get your sexy cheesy ass on there. Don't play with me.
I think I have seen this one. Yeah, by Cooler Taste. But that's nothing wrong with that. This is not a very good food hack, I will agree. But yeah, Cooler Taste. Love his channel. He's been in chat a couple of times in the past. And so, yeah, this one was a very good one. Let me toss up the link. The hell is the link? There we go. So anyways, put that on there. Oh shit, hold on. I just want to put his damn username up there, not the whole damn video. There we go. Here is Cooler Taste channel.
The planet Earth is an incredible place, but too often we fail to step back and marvel at the immense beauty and terrifying horrors that surround us each and every day. Today, we take a closer look at one of Earth's most underappreciated and goth forms of life, the Casper Bog Limb. Casper, Wyoming. Once a bustling oil town, this godforsaken city has fallen to ruin over the past century as oil wells have dried up and affluent residents have sought opportunity elsewhere. With the human population declining, the town of Casper has slowly been reclaimed by the overwhelming natural forces that surround it. And for almost 3 decades, this sleepy municipality has been home to one of the last known boglums outside of captivity.
There are a couple of hacks
with the US
that I would have
Fish
actually
and
eaten, but not
Service,
many.
The International Union for Conservation of Nature, and the Casper Police Department. Our team had the rare opportunity to film and photograph this wild boglim up close, offering an incredible view into the way these fascinating creatures live their mysterious lives. The subject of our film crew's observation is this stunning, elderly male specimen who locals lovingly refer to as KingCobraJFS, or Cobes. Cobes leads a simple and solitary life in his Wyoming bog den, a double-wide trailer on the outskirts of Casper.
That is not a double wide.
As with others of his species, the bog den is the central location for this boglim's activities. Here, Cobes can safely combo drinks, hack meals, and e-beg to his heart's content. Inside the bog den, all boglim necessities are on hand and practically within arm's reach. A comfortable chair filled with friendly, biting bugs, a refrigerator packed with delightful, rotting food, and a semi-broken phone capable of summoning booze at the push of a button. Though youthful boglums are known to occasionally leave their dens to socialize with nearby weirdos or seek out mates for sexual companionship,
Good old Stephanie
Cobes has long passed that time in his life. The aging boglim, now content to stay in his domicile, insulated from the outside world and the trolls that inhabit it. Though unlikely to venture out in search of a sexual partner or cobra angel, this boglim still practices his mating call occasionally, breaking out the BC Rich guitar and blasting some absolutely dank avant-grande tunes. Furthermore, Cobes continues to partake in online activity intended to attract a mate to his boglim den, including making unsubstantiated claims concerning his sexual prowess, complaining endlessly about his dry spells, and engaging in compelling discussions of gender relations.
Even if the situation were gender reversed.
Despite the frequent so-called dry spells, this particular boglim is known to remain quite wet with booze, both literally and figuratively. Confined to the solitude of the bog den, our Cobes engages in an endless loop of food hack, devouring, and drink combo chugging, spilling all the while.
Oh yeah, I missed
Long insulated by his magnificent boglim liver from the consequences of his
they were a hard watch back when they were alive, waiting for something to happen.
reckless consumption. This venerable boglin
When they were good, they
appears
were
to
really
finally
good.
be hitting the proverbial wall, with his preferred salt and alcohol-based diet clearly beginning to take its toll in the form of increased bloating and further peanutting of the head or gourd. In spite of these consequences, the food hacks and drink combos continue. Food hacks, a critical part of both the boglin diet and lifestyle, are bizarre, overwhelming, and often disgusting combinations of various ingredients or pre-made foods designed to maximize salt, fat, and carbohydrate delivery. Despite residing far from any natural bodies of water, this boglin has developed an unexplainable fondness for fish,
Calamari.
particularly in canned or dip form, often including it in his food hacks for absolutely no apparent reason. Additional staples of the boglin diet include hamburgers, deli meats, pizzas with double the toppings, and country crock, original recipe. This rich and diverse diet keeps the boglin healthy and happy. The sun rises in Casper, and a new day dawns as our Cobes rests comfortably in his cozy bog den. But today is not just any day for our boglin, it's shower day. As with other boglins, our Cobes prefers bathing with a pheromone soap designed to attract of age, alive, cisgendered, non-related, consenting, and preferably goth mates.
Speaking of ding-a-lings, if you want a girl to play with your ding-a-ling, you can increase your chances with tactical soap.
Why do you care how I
Boglins
jack
typically
off?
bathe once every 4 to 6 weeks, despite frequently being made unrepentantly filthy by the boggish activities of day-to-day life. Though this may seem infrequent, the dental hygiene habits of the standard boglin differ even more from our own. Toothbrushing behavior in boglins is exceedingly rare and has only been caught on film twice in the history of boglin studies. As you can see from the grimace of unimaginable pain on the boglin's face, this is not a pleasant endeavor. Prominent experts in bogology suspect that the thin film coating the boglin's teeth is highly toxic and capable of rapidly incapacitating small animals. Some theorized that this potent toxin may play a role in our boglin's dental decline alongside traditional tooth decay factors. Primarily as a result of their severely limited visual acuity and blobfish-esque musculature, boglins tend to be peaceful creatures.
And everybody's talked about how, the tooth thing might have contributed to his heart attack.
Delighted to tuck away safely in their bog dens, away from trolls, the boglin's only natural predator. Regardless of their typically relaxed nature, it is not recommended that you approach a boglin if you happen upon one in the wild. When uncomfortably pressed and completely shit-faced, boglins have been observed to lash out violently, striking their foes with immense force. Ultimately, our documentary crew found that Cobes seems to prefer acts of self-destruction to violent encounters with others, habitually channeling his frustrations with the world around him through his mighty fists and punishing the inanimate objects around him. In spite of the fact that Cobes represents a clear and present danger to himself,
Yeah,
this danger
Warlord
pales
found
in
out
compare
about
to
that.
the threats beyond.
Pushed across the room.
Boglins depend almost entirely on business transactions and government checks for subsistence, and continued inflation, stagnation in government assistance payment growth, and rising delivery fees all threaten the boglin way of life, together limiting Cobes' ability to secure sufficiently dank DoorDash orders while still having enough assistance money to support the level of boozing required to sustain boglin life. Circumstances have become so extreme in recent years that Cobes has been forced to resort to homebrewing mildly alcoholic slop in an attempt to remain adequately drunk while avoiding the dreaded negative bank account, the existence of which remains hotly debated to this day. The multitude of factors that have forced undue economic turmoil on the fragile Boglin population of the United States extend far beyond federal policy failures and severely limited government financial assistance, stretching even to our local institutions. One example that many expert bogologists point to is the US banking system and fees. Bank overdraft fees are viewed by virtually all bogologists as predatory and pointedly discriminatory, disproportionately impacting low-income boglums who can barely afford DoorDash hacks and liquor. Even in the absence of these ridiculous penalties, economic pressures like this have, on more than one occasion, forced this once proud Boglin to livestream to a legion of trolls with his arms crossed and debase himself for super chats just so he can DoorDash an $80 pizza for survival. Outside of these enormous existential monetary challenges, non-financial pressures on the Boglin way of life come from all around in our increasingly fast-moving modern world. From rumor-mongering, phone-happy neighbors, and overly zealous members of local law enforcement, to horny grinder hookups looking for some action and local drug aficionados seeking imaginary scrap metal. Can the Boglin species survive such an egregious, full-frontal assault? Can this unique creature persevere? Will his big bicep papa move to Ireland? Truly, we leave here today with more questions than answers. So, what does this all mean? For me, David Bogginborough, the message is clear. We, as a nation, as a planet, and as a species, must do more to preserve these fascinating creatures and their remarkable way of life. Boglins need us now more than ever to restore and protect their natural habitat, to respect their traditions, and to maintain a respectful distance. Remember, a natural, food-encrusted, filthy fingernailed, and alcohol-filled Boglin is a happy Boglin. Thank you for watching. That is most definitely what the fuck is up, YouTube.
How can I wash my face when I'm being fucking abused?
So that was Cooler Taste. I enjoy that video. Hope you guys did as well. Time is it? 10:20. I think I'm about done for the evening. Don't want to overdo it, you know. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this first little look back. Starting to look back at Cobra. And we will do it again very, very soon. Can't say when, because I will just reschedule it if I do. So, but I will be still uploading my old Cyrax videos as I go through some of them and determine if they are safe for modern YouTube terms of service. Don't really have a whole lot of Cobra stuff to upload. What stuff I do have is already uploaded, but we will see you very soon, and we will continue the Bite-Sized Cobra documentary. We'll go into the second one, which is much longer. And the outro tonight, I figure we will just do the intro again. So, have a great night, everyone. See you soon.
Joshy! Aww, Joshy. I need a shower. Joshy! I'm not trying to ruminate or herp or whatever. I do wish I could have known Josh like 8 years sooner.
Carlo was picked on every day. King Cobra's words a brutal phrase. Tears fell like rain, heavy and deep. Carl vowed revenge, but first he'd weep. Cobra's venom cut like a knife, gave Carl's mom a tortured life. The curse spread fast, cancer's might. Hellbound journey, endless night. Carl swore with fire in his eye, Cobra's fate won't be disguised. Alone and toothless he shall wane, spiteful echo of Carl's pain. Years went by, no mercy shown. Carl's anger had fully grown. With a chant fierce and strong, he cursed Cobra all night long. Whispers dark filled the air. Cobra felt the creeping snare. Fangs would rot and skin would crack. All his dreams turned pitch black. Carl swore with fire in his eyes, Cobra's fate won't be disguised. Alone and toothless he shall wait, spiteful echo of Carl's pain.
Man, that chain is hardcore. That's rocking.
They got on a hot topic.
The UIS. The UIS. The UIS. Welcome to the UIS. Welcome to the UIS.
Multiple gerbils recovered.